y'all being here tonight. First item on the agenda is road guard. Everybody's accounted for. Thank y'all for your time. Next item is approval of agenda. We've all had the opportunity to look over the agenda.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Broad has some concerns with item C on the agenda.
Order business.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Which number are all of them?
C.
Yeah, no.
So what's on C?
Are you talking about under new business?
Yes.
Oh, I got it. I think it's the under
On
the
the
agenda. Okay.
I need to switch this.
Sir?
I need to switch this to the millage rate form.
Okay, would you like?
This
to know
reflected
what-
that we did not roll back last year. This was provided by Keith, and he and I spoke after. There's been a lot of them flying around. If I can get it down, I'll probably print it out.
Yes, sir.
So, because we actually rolled back this year. Let me see if I can grab it.
Wait, Arthur, you can have this one.
Well, I think we need to switch copies here. Let me see.
Ask what you have down, I'll see if this is something.
Okay. Yeah, I need to switch it out.
Okay.
This is when he thought we didn't roll back last year.
Yes.
But we did, so he replaced it. We got new ones. I think I gotta get it right. There's been a lot, and of course, Priscilla's out.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of all this flurry and back, so I think I can grab it, no big.
All right, sir.
If her computer,
Right there on that table.
her computers are up.
I'll see her live.
Yeah, they're up.
Tim didn't, I can do
I
that.
tell you what, by tomorrow night, I know we're talking about tomorrow night, we'll have it checked. I'll have it right over there tomorrow night.
Very good. And then you had some concerns with item C.
Well, I don't have concerns with it, I just think the language of it, we've got, obviously, we're building the police department, we're going through the GMA's bricks and mortars program, which is a fantastic program. And this is just sort of getting us ready for that process to go through. GMA's been contacted, hopefully you and I can talk to them tomorrow, Tim.
Very good, sir.
Along with Con, we'll get that going, three of us get a call in with Darien with GMA. This is a fantastic program. I think we mentioned to you guys already that GMA provides cities. It's going to be a wonderful thing for us.
But general principle, correct?
That's the general principle's correct. That's right. I think we're ready to, everybody's ready to get going on this new police department.
Yes.
Very good. Yes, sir.
That's the leave it like it is.
For now, yes, sir.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's right.
Okay. Anybody else have a question or a comment over the agenda?
I forgot to sign the sheet off.
Oh, okay. I call on them. Thank you, ma'am.
I was very afraid to see the sheet.
That's fine. Yes, ma'am. Anybody else have any comments on the agenda, questions about it? Okay, next item will be the minutes of our previous meeting, that being July 15th work session, July 16th regular call. Any comments, questions? Any comments, questions on them? Okay. City manager, I'm correct, there's no public hearings,
No, sir.
no visitor presentation?
Ms. Mabry?
No, I mean, tomorrow night.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, Miss Moore, if you would like to come forward.
To the mayor. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I know I should not come forward without any material information,
That's fine.
but in Savannah, there will be a convention about cemeteries.
Okay.
And I have not asked you, can I be a part of that committee? But I plan to because I have a concern for the historical cemeteries in our county, not only just the city, because Butler Cemetery, and we had a sea log and done with the cemetery, that I have an interest and a concern in, and I do know that there are grants, and they give us information about what can be done. My computer and printer has crashed. I don't know that a lightning struck it or what. Other than that, I would have brought the material for you to view. I'm going to try to get to another computer to see that I get it to you, hopefully before the meeting tomorrow. If not, I'll have to bring it at another time. But that's my concern. And I do know they give information out as to what can be done how it can be done, and all of that information was included in the material that I received on my computer. And this convention is in Savannah.
What's the date to it?
I want to say October the 21st,
Okay, and who's it geared at, or who's it for?
cemeteries.
For, I mean, is it open to
It's
anybody or
open.
elected officials?
It's open.
or- Oh, it's open to anybody?
It's
okay.
open.
And
And
it's 21st?
I almost joined to be a member,
Okay.
but I thought I better not step that far ahead if I was gonna come back and ask for help, because you might not have approved me getting some help if I joined before that.
Yeah, we've had a couple of issues come up with the cemeteries, and I know I can set a committee, but I'd like the majority voice of the council and the mayor and the attorney. What if we set up some kind of cemetery committee to help us recognize these problems and help us recognize ways that we can fix them
And the Dunwoody Cemetery is the cemetery, one of the cemeteries that DOT, when they put I-95 through there, and
Yes, ma'am.
really
About the bridge.
really the descendants didn't even know where the cemetery was for years. They promised that they would fence it in.
Yes, ma'am.
Some of the graves that were exhumed, they did have a ceremony to redo what needed to be done. But I see somewhere on the back side of it where the road runs into there, look like somebody's got some kind of business going on there. And I did say, look like, I don't know, I just see some,
I just heard about that a month ago.
well, something's going on there. And I don't know if it's a legal business or what's going on. I just know it shouldn't be there.
Yes, ma'am.
And the cemetery is historical, just like Butler and Sea Lawn
Yes, ma'am.
and Ashton. All of our cemeteries are historical. And that's my concern.
How does everybody feel about that cemetery committee to help us recognize? We already have a tree board. The tree board's working good when we have a problem with a tree. But if we had a cemetery committee to help us check into problems like this and complaints and help us find grants and stuff like that.
Well, it's obviously yours and the council's disposal is, all I would suggest is that we simply, and you know how I work, is that we just maintain costs and.
But I mean, the committee shouldn't cost us anything, like
Yeah,
a tree
yes,
board.
yes.
Would you be willing to serve on that board if we had a cemetery committee?
I'll be glad to serve on the circle.
So, be out with everybody, if we got, say, what, 5 members, maybe of the cemetery board? Or what, 5 of us, yeah. We'll check into that and see if we can get that set up for you, and we'll stay in touch with you on that, 'cause I do appreciate you looking out for stuff like this for us.
Okay, one more thing, and I should have brought the address. The property that's on 14 George Drive. I can't remember the number, but it's Angel Green and care of Eunice Moore. I don't know who's dumping their trash or whatever that is on it. And rather than for me to go and check on it, I'd rather you do that for me, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Because the
Just
property-
give me- Just call up and just
Okay, I'll do
give
that.
me that address, and then we'll be happy to go out there and look at it for you.
Thank you so much.
That's your property right there on the corner, or the?
It's not on the corner.
Oh, okay.
This is, you know where the Barton man is that
Yes,
restored his
ma'am.
house?
Yes, ma'am.
It's the third.
That's right,
Lot.
third one down, I got you.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am.
And
What,
it's
it used to
the-
be a white house with red trim there?
Yes,
one
that's
time.
the house that y'all wanted to put me in jail for because I wouldn't tear it down.
We wasn't on board then.
I still say y'all,
Yes, ma'am.
because y'all don't have a name.
Yes, ma'am. Well, we appreciate it, we'll check into that.
Okay, thank you,
Any comments, questions? Thank you, ma'am.
thank you.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak tonight? Anybody else wish to speak on anything tonight? Okay. City manager, correct, there's no unfinished business?
No, sir.
I do appreciate everybody, your time, your dedication, working to getting all of our stuff to come. I remember before, we'd have more unfinished business than we did new business. So this does look good. New business, first one is adopting a millage rate. We will take action on this tomorrow night.
That is correct, and we will provide you with a additional spreadsheet regarding the numbers. So it is completely and entirely accurate, but in short, the detail is simply we will be adopting another millage rollback, again for the second year in a row, which this council can be very proud of.
I think I've looked at more numbers this year than I had all through high school. But that's why, after looking through it, I'm glad we have you and the attorney and others here that knows a little more about them than I do, because they started running together. But you tell we are going to be able to roll it back again?
That is correct.
That's 2 years in a row.
That is correct. 2 years in a row.
Appreciate that. Y'all done a great job.
What about the second half? It says rollback and.
Mr. Watson, if you don't mind, if you would, don't pay much attention to what you're looking at right now. And let us get the proper spreadsheet in your hands.
Yes,
And
sir.
then it'll become a lot more clear to you.
I've got the numbers, Mr. Lawson, it was, our millage last year was 3.483, the rollback this year is 3.431. Not a huge rollback, but nonetheless, it is a tax decrease. It's a rollback on the millage.
Any roll back, and no matter how small it is, it's better than rolling forward.
And the reason why I say that, I just saw the next thing say and percentage, when you see the word increase, I didn't
Right.
understand what that means.
It's a negative increase, it's a red increase, which is sort of a double negative, but it is. It means we're rolling back.
Okay.
And if you'll see our 5-year history, Mr. Sweezy and I talked about this, and if you'll look at the 5-year history of our digest in Darien, from 2014 to 2019, we've had a 30% increase in the value of property in the city of Darien. And that's pretty amazing. Basically, over the life of this composition of the city council's body, we've had a 30% increase in real property values in the city of Darien. And that's amazing. It's going from basically $100 million to $130 million on our digest.
It's good. Yeah. I don't have a problem. Only problem I have, if that's the best word we can use, because not our community, but any community, when you see anything with property taxes and increases in the same 5 words, creates a problem.
Yes.
So please, whoever's gonna pull that magic off using those words, fix it tomorrow.
Well, we can assure you and the rest of this council that we're not playing games with the numbers. The fact of the matter is, there will be a rollback, and it will be incredibly in detail for you tomorrow evening, for you to peruse.
Okay.
I've heard people say that, from the other cities now, because everywhere I go to a little city, I like to drop in and introduce myself and check, see how they do with certain things and all. They said that, when I'm going to do a rollback, they could, but they just gonna keep it where it's at, keep from losing anything. So I appreciate y'all working hard and showing us that we can roll it back without it hurting us. So that's, I'd rather give back to the citizens all we can. Okay. Any more comments, questions on that? And I want to thank everybody that's doing all they're doing to help us be able to roll these taxes back to helping our properties increase. Next is item B, appoint Kieran McMullen as the local government agent for abandoned mobile homes. We will take action on that tomorrow. I kind of thought with his job that he would already doing that.
Well, more specifically, is that this is a new action by the legislature. I was talking with our probate judge, and Mr. Braun, please correct me, is simply the fact that we have to appoint somebody specifically, and it needs to be voted upon by the council.
I think he'd be the best one.
Well, just curious,
Give him the job.
how many, we've been moving at a pretty good pace cleaning this city up. How many mobile homes are still out there inside the city that need this? I understand we need. I know 3 or 4. We need legislate if that's the case, but the mobile homes, but we have houses that are, we have stick-built houses that need to be addressed also.
That is correct, and we won't get it all done in one day. The fact of the matter is that this is brought upon by the legislature of the state of Georgia, and the only reason it's come to the forefront is we have to act upon it, and we have to appoint somebody as this
And it's-
particular agent.
And I'm just
Yes.
asking,
Yes, sir. And it's just the council has to do this. I can't just do it.
but it specifically says mobile home.
That is correct.
Okay.
You think we can get a copy of that by tomorrow, not today, but next week? Well,
It's
tomorrow.
legislation. You know, it's kind of interesting. I mean,
Or is it online?
we as a municipality, we had ordinances that could deal with this situation prior to this legislation being enacted. So it's sort of limited to us. Our municipal court could already handle this. This legislation is really directed a little bit more toward counties. And honestly, counties sort of wanted the same procedures that municipalities have. That's really what this is all about. But you know, our ability under home rule provisions is a little broader than a county's. A lot of times the county's going to need legislation to change the power of the court. In other words, the county commission can't just change the power of the probate court. The legislature has to do that. Whereas this body, for the most part, as long as there's not a statute saying we can't, this body can add to the powers of the municipal court. So our court really sort of had these powers already. I look at something very, very small that I point out the difference between counties and municipalities. When we entered our new software contract, this board was able to say $1 a ticket or whatever it was to passed an ordinance adding that to our municipal court tickets to pay for the cost of our software. Well, it's much more difficult for a county to do that. They have to go to the legislature, they have to have all these fees added on to the legislature. Whereas you have a little more broad powers under your home rule provision. So, I mean, well, I think this is a good thing. If we ever do need to use that court, we can, but we already have sort of a way to do it now. But if the judge is asking for it, I certainly say we do it.
Mr. Lassen, I'm just simply jumping through the hoop.
I'm fine, I just need to see a copy of the law, that's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
We didn't learn to dot our i's and cross our t's. Okay, any more comments, questions on it? Item B. Okay, item C, approve the city manager to open a line of credit regarding the planning and construction of the police department with Southeastern Bank. We will take action on this tomorrow night, Steve.
Yeah, it really ties in with the other thing. That's sort of this, this transaction that we're doing is really bringing all this property back under our auspices, so. That's correct. I think I'm correct, Mr. Sweet. They all sort of tie together through what we're gonna use bricks and mortar for.
We'll put the bow on it tomorrow night.
Okay. But,
This is one of those things, again, we need your authorization to do it.
I just can't go out and do it.
That's right. You guys have to approve that. I mean, you've already known it was coming.
Yeah.
But now it's time, we need to have the conversation. We'll have Mr. Hollins do it. I think Con's handling this himself, isn't he, for the thing?
Yes.
So we'll have a conversation with him and GMA's representative in bricks and mortar.
I know the question's gonna come up, we know the answer, but just so everybody else knows the answer, and correct me if I'm wrong on this one, we're not authorizing him to go down and
No.
borrow as much money as he wants to to put on this.
This is just to get the ball
They'll still
rolling.
come back to us. and-
Oh, and you still have to approve the final contract, right, Mr. Sweet, is bringing all of it.
And what Mr. Braun had asked the question earlier, simply is we're starting to run into architectural renderings, we're starting to run into structural engineers, we're starting to run into a lot of professional services that are gonna need to be paid for. So all of those things will come out of the larger loan. So all we're trying to do is get this thing semi-buttoned up where we can start paying these vendors that we have already employed.
Well, this way too, I think, we gotta keep up and having to keep calling special call meetings to do all of this.
That's
To
correct.
approve it, or putting it off till next month or next month. So,
correct.
we want to build,
Final dollar amount, so y'all have to approve that, no doubt about that.
we want it built quick, and we want it built right.
That's right.
Okay. Any more comments, questions on that? Comments, questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
this time.
Next one is item D, consider purchase of the old fire station. We vote this just a discussion at this time. Do you want to enlighten us on that?
I do, Mr. Rowe, who has opened the Bose Tire Remover, he's wishing to purchase the old fire station, is we just need to find a way, you know, whether you want it appraised. How do you want to do this? He's invested a considerable amount in infrastructure. Hopefully I have him here tomorrow and he can sit here and tell you all about what he's done and what he wants to do.
Right now, he's paying monthly rent on it.
That's right, it's $600 a month. Yes.
Any comments, questions?
You know, that'll probably be something, you know, our charter allows us to lease property, the way it was written, but if we sell it, we'll probably have to go through that, publish it in the paper and all that kind of thing, you know, which I'm sure that, you know, your determination does not have to be solely based on what comes to you, because there are all kind of factors. For instance, the work you've already done on it, things like that. But I think we probably will have to go through that, we'll have to publish in the paper on the dispensation of the property. First, y'all have to approve separate first, and then we go through that process and get the interested parties in who wish to buy it. And he'll probably be one, but nonetheless, we do have to do that. I think if we're going to dispose of it.
Right now, when we're leasing it, we don't have any revenue other than leasing coming in. They don't pay taxes on the building. Just,
No,
get what I'm saying.
no, sir.
And that's one thing in one of ours, I'm sure that DDA and IDA has been through the Southern Soul workshops, where they take in different cities and show you things. They have buildings that the city owns or the county owns, and they correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's called pilot places, where it allows somebody to come in and start a business for a certain length of time, and then when they get on their feet good, they can move into their personal, their own building, and somebody else can move. I like to see it be able to do something like that. later
Augusta
on.
called it an incubator program.
Incubator, that's
Yeah.
it, that's it.
That's
I was
the
trying to think that, we did it in Augusta. So, appreciate that.
How long was it vacant? You and Steve might remember. When they moved the fire station, what year was that? I'm guessing it stayed vacant.
Yeah, that was back in
You don't have to answer that. I was
2000,
trying
right, we got elected.
2011, 12, and it was vacant for.
No, I think just before that, they started moving in, 11 maybe. It was vacant a while. Okay. So it just, like I said, just set it costing us. Any more comments or discussion on that? Comments or discussion? Okay. Next one is declarative following item surplus. We got a list of 2012 Dodge Charger, 2000 Dodge Charger, 2011 Chevy Caprice, 2007 Ford Crown Victoria, 2007 Ford Victoria, 2001 Ford Crown Victoria, 2013 Dodge Charger, generator 250 kilowatt generator, condition unknown, heavy duty square D brand magnetic starter, a lot of 3-phase motors, conditions unknown. Parted out Crown Victoria 4 school buses, condition unknown. A home-built box trailer, needs work. Aluminum boat, needs work. Aluminum toolbox, set of 2 each over-the-wheel toolboxes. And we'll take action on that tomorrow. Are there any comments or questions?
How did we get school bus?
They were donated, I think, to the fire department to do our
Exercise.
excavation, trainings and all on them. And then it was just extra we had left over.
You got
The only way I remember was getting.
4 of them. Actually, we'll probably have to upgrade that to 5. We're just getting all this list done. There's gonna be no more next month, but there's 4 at the wastewater treatment plant. And there's 1 that you drive by every day that sits there in the weeds, behind the current fire department.
Wouldn't be more feasible or make more off them if we transferred them over to the landfill? I mean, to the junkyard, recycle center?
I would suggest we try this first,
Okay.
and then, you know, if we decide, we look at the total weight, what these things are, and then I'll do it however you like to do it. I don't care. I just need to get it done.
What you guys are gonna get, again, we're gonna put that in paper. If you all approve that, that'll be put in paper. People will be encouraged to submit bids on it. And remember, under the law, you can accept or reject any or all of bids. You're not bound by the highest one. In fact, y'all can say, we're not gonna pay any of these bills, and you can instruct Mr. Sweezy to dispose of that.
Okay.
That is the proper way.
We can give them to keep McIntosh beautiful if they don't get sold, correct?
They are, let's see. They're government owned, I think, yes, they are,
So that's a yes?
yes, yeah, they're government.
Well, we do it, won't we?
Are they not, keep their, are they a nonprofit or government
They're
owned?
not, they're not profit.
That's a little more problematic.
I mean, it's a work session, of course, we're talking about stuff, so I'm.
Well, so far as donations, that I can talk about. I probably got about $100,000 worth of vehicle from the state and federal government to my nonprofit. So I know that is a legal transaction. But you gotta be an official nonprofit, and they are. They can donate.
My point in this whole thing is, there's folks that have expressed interest in some of these items. However, it's not to me to sell anybody anything.
Gotcha.
It's got to come before this council. They'll have to declare it surplus, seal bids are received, we sift through those bids, and then we move on.
And I think you're doing it perfect. And if they don't, then we do the other things. So I agree with you.
One of the things we bust is the same motor and transmission basically that your pickup truck has got, so people have asked about that. But like I say, conditions unknown. Any more comments, questions on the surplus?
Guess you totally get a bunch of money.
Any more comments, questions? Next one comes up, council report, mayor report, city manager, all of our reports, and am I correct, we have no executive session tomorrow night other than that?
You remember Sweezy? You have it.
No, sir.
Anybody have anything else?
I got it. Just
Yes, sir.
not too long ago, I asked you, Mr. Mayor, and Mr. Sweezy about a property over there between Wayne and Congress. The property, which we're in dire need of a dog park.
Yep.
And
We discussed that this morning.
And, you know, this has been, what, 3-4 months? That property over there, I mean, it's sitting there. And when we talk about a dog park, I think, you know, there's more than just saying, take your dog over there and walk your dog. But I do think that property over there, not only is it big enough for a dog park, we may be able to look at putting some type of water, not a water slide or water park, something that is, somebody came up.
Splash park.
Yeah, no, all you do is walk through it, it's nothing major, but the only reason I bring this up is I know we've got a lot going on, we've got a lot that we have tackled in the past, but I don't want this to go by the wayside. I would like to get this back on the front and center, because it is, I mean, look at the people that walk their pets. Look at the amount of money that this generates.
The property you're speaking of, is it where the tennis courts are and that?
No, ma'am.
Which one
You
is
know, we're, if,
When you're leaving your house, coming back this way, the first open space.
it's in between Wayne and Congress, there's a park there.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. It's across from, I think, Maggie's house.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, right there.
Yeah, okay.
And let's just, keep it on the burner if we can, and, just look at it. All of this, I know, like I said, we've got a lot going on, but let's keep it on the forefront.
Can I add to it? I want to agree with you, and I'm speaking from a different perspective. Maybe it's the exact the same from going to a lot of these trainings. Again, it's almost like you call it the poop plan. I didn't have no idea economically how it can help a city if you have a proper sewer plant. But those parks, it's a big thing in many cities and counties throughout the whole United States of America. And right now, do we have any at all? City or county?
I think the county talked about the dog park, but I don't think it's.
I'm working with, Ms. Suzanne, we're looking at one out at the, animal control center. But, matter of fact, as I said, we just talked with city manager this morning, I seen one in another county that was pretty basically simple we can do. But we got the place that behind, the property behind, Ember Square
Right.
would be closer to city.
I think parking would be a problem out there between Wayne and Congress. That's a residential area. Where would the people park to go? I mean,
Well, plus that, we're looking at
Well,
maybe,
look, there's not only do we own that property there, if you see right by the tennis court,
Right.
and as I understand it, we still own that tennis court, do we not? So, there's a lot of park, you don't have to park, it's called a dog park because you walk the dog. You don't have to pull up inside the dog park to take your dog. People walk from the condos down there all the way past 14 George and back around. So if you could walk your dog close to, and you want it close to a
Right.
neighborhood, you want it close, you don't want to drive way out of the way. I mean, it's an idea, just,
that's why I'm thinking, either that area or like I say, the little park at, Mayor Pro Tem got behind the, Ember Square. That would be, we got a good bit of property there, and that would be a good spot.
but there's parking there also. So, like I said, right there by the tennis court, we'll look at it there, that's, you know.
I wasn't being specific.
Yeah.
Since the mayor brought it up, we might can look and see other spots. But I was thinking of the bigger scale of having one, because it's a huge thing. They've got courses to train on this, because there's so much in need in cities. One I want to add, and I'll be through, I might get in a little bit of trouble with my manager for this, he's bigger than I am, so scheme protect me. We said it, and it doesn't matter, oh boy, it's a tough one. Doesn't matter what happened to the Adam Strain building, it was we, us, me too, that said it was public safety is utmost. 30 days have passed and we have done absolutely nothing. I'd like to see us put some sort of structure up there. If it's going to stay, the building is not going to get any younger. If we rehab it, it's not going to get any younger so far as the structure from the way it is now. For the public safety, that I'm thinking we can do something very inexpensive. We can make it official. We got the barrels around it with the little tape. But trust me, everybody's still going in there because they want to take pictures. It's a nice thing to do. I don't think I'll get in trouble now. I was at the pyramid in Egypt and I couldn't resist. The man had the machine gun. I bowed down and tied my shoe. I didn't take anything off the pyramid. I just want a little rock. And I got me a rock. So don't show that in Egypt. But so people are curious. People are, I like to say crazy stuff, but that's a true story. I didn't get a rock. You know, if we're concerned about the public, we've done nothing. So I'm hoping we can do something to make it act like we really concerned about the public. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
yes, city manager, if you send us out a thing said that you had ordered some fence or something to go up.
I had, and it's $650 a month for portable fencing to put across the front. It's approximately 150 feet of fencing.
We can't put our own fence up.
Oh, yeah, we could.
But I see, Leader Service got a bunch, but I got to throw it over to the side, maybe we can get with them and get a roller of that and some pipe.
I agree with you.
I'll get out there and help them, but push it up. $600 a month, that's all the money we get out of rental on the building down there.
However you'd like it done, I'm open for it. But there is some activity regarding the Strain building, and we'll discuss that later.
Okay, but I agree with Mayor Pro Tem, when we can get something up there.
I already let him clear. He told me he was gonna bring it up, so it wouldn't be a shocker.
Yeah, I did, yes.
And I agree with the mayor. I said we could put up, he could put up, I'll help supervise.
I think there's a lot of people that would help putting, if we did have a fence that we could get our hands on, I'm sure there's a lot of people that are way more concerned. I mean, and I'm sure they'd lend a hand getting that fence up.
Now, on your other question, the splash pad, that's something I brought up when we got the Veterans Park put in. I wanted a splash pad put on it also. They're expensive.
Explain the splash pad.
Splash pad is, mainly, it's a little place, usually it's about the size of this room, but it's got holes in the ground and water blows up out of the ground and the kids run around it. And some of them's got water, the little pipes that'll blow some down, mist and fire. But, if any of y'all ever in the Hazelhurst area, they got a nice one, it's about the size of this room. And, it run them around $175,000 to install it. Then you got your water recirculate, so you got to keep it treated and don't want any bacteria.
Maybe everybody's forgotten.
But you're the rec man, so.
Park and rec guy.
That's what I'm thinking of getting to.
So I'm extremely familiar with splash pads.
Can we get one?
And you know, like you are with money, we would not spend $170,000 on a splash pad. I'm telling you, not the way you are with
Well, you
money.
noticed I didn't get one in Veteran Park, so.
You knew that was coming.
He's gonna, if he
But that's why we're
can
just
get
putting
it
balance,
for,
is he
if
paying
it was
attention?
170 there, he'll get it for 70 here, and we can have a splash pad.
Next round.
There's more than one person that does splash pads.
There you go.
Right about the dog park.
I
In
mean,
case
I'm
you-
open to a splash pad anywhere, but a
Oh, I am.
dog park it is. Those two items, I think, will be large. It will be.
It would.
You do a doggy splash pad.
They have that. They have one of those also, but that's $200,000.
Dogs only, please.
And we already got a dog wash here in town, so I think we need a park.
I do think in the city of Darien, no jokes, all jokes aside,
We need a dog park.
we need a dog park. And that is not, that's not a hard thing. It's not $170,000.
No, not for a dog park, and believe me, I got, several people, a couple of them in this room said that they would be on the committee to help set that up, design it for us.
Good.
But that's something we need to check into seriously.
Oh, I'm
Sir.
excited over the.
Yes,
Did you
ma'am.
know that we have Washington Square down there too?
We have what?
Washington Square
Yes, ma'am.
down there? Okay.
But we're trying to hold off using our squares for
Well, that's the
parks.
square that you're talking about now.
Where is the square?
That park, that park is,
That park was.
That sure is Washington.
It's called what square?
Yeah, Washington Square.
Washington Square?
Because Jefferson Square is where the school is at, right? And then tennis court's on another square, and then Washington Square is begin with.
It's Washington Square,
Yep.
by the.
Where you're talking about.
by
Because
that-
that property was actually given
No,
to,
what,
The park that you're talking about, I think of the name of it, but anyhow, there's one, I think there's like, might be 4 squares over there, or 3. There's one down there that you're talking about between, where the Gales people lived.
yes, ma'am.
that's the one, that's where I was.
Just past the
That's,
gate.
that's the one that you're talking about. And then there's one, that road that takes you into the, leisure service.
Yeah, the tennis courts are
Then when
on
you
one.
go to, and then there's the tennis
The
court.
school's on one. And then you had, Vernon Square.
Burns Square is in, up here.
Yes, ma'am. But you had them all the way down
Right.
to the port, yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
Because it's set up like Savannah.
Like take an opportunity while we're here is sitting in the back, it's Officer McGowan. If you never hear anything from him, and he is, works the night shift diligently and works very hard for the city of Darien.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Night shift.
Okay. You got anything else? DDA, we got anything?
I just wanted to chime in, we were talking about the Adams Strain building and fencing. In my budget for Fall Fest, I have a contingency plan based on what fencing you guys decide to do, but I'm planning on renting like the barricades, like the metal barricades, that, to put
We
around.
had a hard time getting them.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
That's
for
what's been the
rental, I mean.
frustration between Mr.
Yeah.
Latson and myself.
Yeah.
We call these people, we had one in Jacksonville, where you get yours?
Mine are, they're supposed to be rented out of Brunswick, I mean, as far as buying them.
Beach tent. From beach tent events.
I I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, I've got a list, but I had planned to, for the Fall Fest, when we've got that many people milling around,
Well, hopefully we'll have
Well,
all
hopefully the
this
city will have something up, so hold on.
taken care of before you.
well, we hope so, but I have to build it into my budget at the beginning, and if I don't need it, I can use it or not spend it, but, you know, but I've got the earmark for it. Just because people are too curious, they will, you gotta keep them.
We'll have that fence up before
Okay,
Fall Fest.
well, I'm gonna still leave my money set aside for it, just in case.
Elijah told me, he said, Mr.
You can do that to help her put a dog
He
park.
said, I'm coming for you, man. And I said, yes, sir.
Ms. Donovan, and IDA, you have anything?
I don't have anything to add.
But on the dog park part, I did.
I had plans, like I visited some, I was gonna do a presentation for y'all, and I have a revenue stream, so it can be self-sustaining. So, and I've talked to some people about how to do that, so.
You were the same one I was talking about when I said we had somebody here to help with design.
But I've got a revenue stream, so he'll be happy.
Ms. Kathleen?
One thing I let slip my mind until we got back over there. On 7th Street and 17th, that building on the east side looks real bad. They wanted to put me in jail for a house that looked all right. And it looks real bad up there on the corner.
Okay, you would
I
get.
have been told that if I didn't clean up another piece of property I had, and that's on 17, the main street. And that looks real bad. On the corner of 17 and 17,
Yes, ma'am.
the car wash and the other houses on the corner, you almost can't even tell that there's a house in there now.
Okay.
Get him, Miss Moore, get him.
Yes, ma'am. You have,
What'd you say?
I said, get him, Miss Moore, you're right. You're
would
right.
you, see, make a note of that and turn it in to, Kieran and let him check it out for us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Anybody have anything else?
No, sir.
I appreciate everybody's time. See y'all tomorrow night. Lord willing.
Next, ladies.
You'll be out in the kitchen.